production, QA, sandbox, and development. So we can make some project-based directories, and we can share them according to environment. Web server content hosting, we can use NFS for web server. I mean, for Apache and Tomcat, we have document root directory as /var/w/html. So we can mount that as an NFS to that our web server content hosting document root, and so that would be easy to manage. That no, there is no need to copy the data or some other operations. Virtual machine data store, obviously we in the vCenter, if you have worked on VMware Center, you can use NFS servers or a shared pool we can create for in form of NFS. Disk space consume, obviously it's a disk space consume. Like suppose you have 100 GB of data that is required on 100 systems, so that will take use of space you need to spend on that 100 GB data only, right? But with the help of NFS, you need to spend only 100 GB space. So that is the production use cases where we can use. And let's move on the next. So installation and configuration part is to install and configuration NFS. I would recommend always follow official document. Either it is provided by Red Hat or any other official websites you can follow. So we are going to follow today Red Hat document. If I can share it with you also. Let me share it with the audience also. 1 minute. So this is the official document that is provided by Red Hat, and everyone should we follow this whenever anyone going to start for NFS. So for that demonstration, I have prepared two NFS instances. I mean, two EC2 instances on AWS. Let me restart them. So by the time these instances are getting power on, let's move on our document. So if you see in the deploying NFS servers, the definition is same, whatever we discussed recently, this is all. But if you talk about NFS, so recently in these instances are using Red Hat 9 versions, the latest one, 9.3. So we have nowadays the latest version of NFS, we are using NFS version 4. That is the latest one. Before that, there are multiple NFS versions like NFS version 3, 2, and 1. So NFS version 4 is it is a very advanced version of NFS 3. In NFS version 3, you need to maintain multiple services. And the daemon was also was in NFS, but in NFS version 4, the daemon name, service name had got changed. They have mentioned NFS-server service name, and they now you don't need to maintain multiple services. You just need to maintain your NFS source servers daemon, that is NFS-servers. So if you see, the default NFS version is 4.2, and by default, if you don't mention any version, then it try to connect on NFS version 4.2 only. But you can use any NFS version. I mean, NFS version 3 as well, not any. NFS version 3 you can use also. So our servers are up. Let me log in them. So this is the public IP. Hello.
Yes, Mohit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
I'm sorry, guys. I think connection was going at unstable. So what happened to this? There is some. Yeah, it is working fine. Let me log in. So EC2 is the default user, which comes with your EC2 instances. Basically, it depends on your OS. So we are using in Red Hat. So in Red Hat AMIs, you can log in with EC2-users. Let me log into server as well. All right. So we are in. We have logged in our both servers. So if you see my host name, that is NFS servers, from where we are going to share today multiple directories or multiple data, and that is NFS client, where we are going to mount these NFS server directories or NFS server data we are going to mount here. So if you see to here, in df command, df is for disk file systems. We can see whatever file system we have in our systems. There is one file system I have created that is size of 5 GB we have, and the file system name is slash data. So we can share this directory. I mean, this directory can be anything. You can give that name as per your requirement or as per your environment. You can use it. But that directory we are going to share today, and we can share this directory to multiple instances. There is no limit how can you can use. So if we see inside this directory, we have right now we have one directory, that is March. So yeah, someone was raising your hand. Do you have any question?
Yeah, it's me. Sorry, Mohit, to disturb you.
Yeah.
I'm just I just wanted to get ensure that is it that means the root of the directory which I can mention here. Suppose I guess it's the directory slash data means it is directly under a drive, right? If I give the root of the particular directory which I want to share, can I give that one, or means that's a basic thing I just wanted to get ensure. Am I clear with my question?
So what I understand your
Okay.
question, you are asking that can I share the root directory of this files here, right?
No, my question is if the root directory is there, if I want to share any child directory, can I do that one with the help
Yeah,
of
that
Week?
definitely we can share child directories as well.
Okay, so there is no particular system that which we should follow to ensure means to share this one
Right.
directly. Okay, okay, got it. Thanks, Mike. Got it.
Yeah. So if you see there is one directory, and let's create me some other directories as well in slash data. So we can let's create some application wise like one is for SAP. Sorry, my bad. We are in we are under slash data. So SAP, one more GTP or control M. So if now we are a few directories in our which directory we are going to share. SAP, GTP, control M. So we have given these name as per the application name. You can give them name as whatever you want. You can use your application name. You can use your environment name or some common name. Suppose you are want some scripts you want to share on your client machines, so you can use them. So let's get started. So for that, first of all, we need to install the NFS source server, NFS server. To install NFS server, you need to use package manager. So as we are using Red Hat, so we can use DNF or yum package manager. But as per your distribution, OS distribution, you need to use your package manager. Like in Ubuntu, you have to you will use apt, and in CentOS you can use also yum. And it's basically depends on your OS distribution. So today we are going to use NFS, or sorry, DNF. So DNF install and as NFS servers. NFS utils is the package which provides us NFS capability. So if as per the document, yeah, NFS utils. Oh my God. So NFS utils is the package which you need to install first on the source machine. So all right, we have installed it. After that, you need to put your share directories information in the export file system. So if there is a directory cat etc exports. So this is the directory which you need to put your file share details or file share configuration details, which directories or which file share you need to share from this machine. So let's VI is for which VI is an editor. So through VI command we can edit that file. So here there is a syntax. Syntax is something like that. First of all, you need to mention, suppose first of all, you need to hash. I'm use. This is not a I am just first of all I am describing you what is the syntax. Then we can put some. We will put actual entries, right? So first of all, you need to provide the directory name, which directory you want to share. Like suppose I want to share /data. That can be anything of what you want to share, /data or the data directory, yeah, or the application directory as well, which we created recently. And then you need to define the network. You can like host name. I can mention host name. I can mention a specific particular IP address that I want to share only that particular IP, or we can mention an IP, a complete network range also. So uh, let's demonstrate. So we are going to share /data directory. Let's etc export. Now we need to define the specific IP address of our client. So if you see, my IP address is this, and now so that is the our client address where we can mount this directory, right? And under the bracket we have to put some permissions. I mean, what permission you want to provide the others client. I mean, uh, so there we can use export options, right? Like I am mentioning here RW, that means read only permission I want to provide to that client. So on this machine, from this machine, any user which have permission to this file system on this machines, that can only read the data. That cannot modify any file or any data, right? So let save this file. For saving, you can just let me show you. To save to saving the file, you need to press first escape to come to the command mode, and then you need to press colon and then WQ for saving and quit, right? After that, you need to we have installed recently NFS utils package that provide our NFS server daemon. You need to provide you need to start the daemon first. If you see now, the NFS server is in inactive state. If you see here, it is inactive state and service is disabled. So you need to start it first. So your NFS server has been started, but your service mode is disabled. Your service state is disabled. That means whenever this system goes rebooted, if after this demonstration or whenever during your plant maintenance, so this service will not come up automatically. So you need to enable that service first. That is very see, to enable it, you can just use systemctl enable and then daemon name. Now if you see, the mode is enabled. Now we are we are all set. We have shared our directory. We have installed the NFS. Now we have just installed. We have given the directories configuration which we want to share. Now we need to export. We need to tell the daemon that this directory I'm going to share. For that, you need to execute that command export fss -avr. If you want to these parameters are like we can use for A for all the directories whatever you have mentioned in this configuration file, and V for verbose and R for recursive. If you means that inside this directory those directories are also shared. So if you see here, this the output we got exporting this yani ki, that means from this server this IP 189 from this server, from this IP, these directories have been shared to this client. And if you want to see, you can check from here also through show mount -e command that also show you what are the export list for NFS server. So whatever the list in export directories or export file we have, those directories or those files would be shared by NFS server. Now, from server side, we have all done. There is one more option, one more action is pending. After exporting this to, yeah, let me talk about that option later. Either some people got confused. So now on the server side, we have we have installed NFS, we have configured it, and we have export the NFS share. Now let's try to mount it on our client side. So that is our client side. So to mount the there is a simple command to mount the NFS client on NFS side. You can use simply mount command. And to mount what you are going to mount, so we are going to mount this from that is our source servers. And what is the directory /data we are going to mount? So that is our source detail, right? That is the source server source share which we are going to mount, and where we want to mount it, that directory we need to define here. So first of all, let's create a directory. Like I want to create I want to create test directory we can create, or let's create Under Armour. So and one more directory let's create SAP. So let's mount it, mount and your shares. And excuse me. So to mount that directories or share, we can, that is the syntax. You can use the mount command and then the source detail what you want to mount and the destination where you want to mount, right? But before that, we need to install NFS client also on this server. So let's install NFS clients as well. Mm. Oh. Let's install NFS client. Okay, no worries. Let's search. So that is the version. If you don't know what is the exact name of your package, so you can just use a search module of DNF search, and then you can just give a hint to DNF. It will search that according to that keyword what all our packages are available in the systems. So if you see in the NFS, we have this versions for NFS, and in the description it says NFS version for utilities for supporting clients. So we need to install it first. Let's install it. All right. Now let's try to mount it. Slash SAP scripts. All right. So if you see, we are able to mount that source servers in that directory, SAP scripts. Now, and inside this directory, what all data we have. If you see, there are all the directories which we have on our share source servers. All those directories are available. That is our source servers, NFS server. See, all there are 4 directories and 4 directories are available here. Let's try one more. And you can see here, right? Test. So data is you can visible is within millions, 1 million, 1 millisecond even. There is no latency. And so let's try to create some file on client side. Suppose I want to create inside this directory SAP scripts. I'm inside that directory. Let's create a test file, or let's create a Mohit file. See what error you got? Can't touch Mohit read only file system, because we have given permission to on this NFS share as read only. From where we have given, if you see in cat etc exports, there here we are given these are mounting, these are exporting and provide. So these are exporting options which we can provide. So on this machine, we have provided only read-only permissions. So that's why on this sides, even if you see, even root is not able to create the file system. Root is super user, but root is also not able to create the file system. So if you want to provide the permissions, then you need to modify these permission exporting options from here. So uh, let's modify these permissions. So in the production, whenever you edit any file, that is recommended that before editing any file, you should take backup first. Even that is critical file or non-critical file, or you should always take a backup first. So let's modify this exporting option. Now I'm putting values add, read, write. So after modifying these changes in this file, always you need to rerun the command export fs. You need to re-export the file system. Export fs means you are exporting the file systems. Now again same command we try to mount. Wow. I think I have login wrong server. Sorry. So I'm sorry for that. Now we are in client. Let's see in seat. Now try to write file. See, so can't touch Mohit, permission denied. So again we got can't touch permission, but this time we didn't get read only file system error. That means there is something else which are stopping us to create the files. But so that is that is due to root user. By default, root cannot write the file in NFS source servers by default, because by default it use I will tell you why this is happening, and due to what parameter it is happening. So let me show you. So when you export any file system in the source servers, you can see the complete list of /var/lib nfs etab. So in the etab file, you can check what is the directory name what you have shared, and with which options you have shared. So if you see in the export file, in the actually export file, you have mentioned here only read only one single exporting option, but in this file it is giving multiple options, right? So these are some these options are recommended options which always a NFS use. By default, these options are used. If you see in these options, these that is for RW for read write, that is for sync. That means whenever someone edit any file, those changes should be committed at that time, exactly that time in the exact file on NFS source server. W delay, that is write delay, that is specifically application basis you can set, and you can set hide, secure, you want to secure your NFS. So root squares, that is the option which is stopping us to create our files with the help of with from root user. But if you try with some other users, you would be able to create the files inside that directory. Let me create some. First, let's so how let's try first with root user. With for normal user, we will take later. So how we can, if you want to write or you want to create or make any directories, so how you can create. So there is option root squares. If you would go or at the document which I shared, there is lots of option. No root squares you can use. Let me here. So we need to mention via etc export fs. One more option, no underscore root underscore squares. Right. Okay, now we have made the changes in etc export. Now we need to again share the detail. We need to re-export the file system dash avr. Now if you see in where live NFS tab, now instead of this option root squares, we have no root squares. That means now you can create files and directories with help with from root user. See, we are able to touch Mohit file now, and even you can create directories as well. dir NFS. Right. So these are exporting options. I will tell you all the recommended ones in the file, and let's describe right now. And there are some others exporting options which should you will be aware, definitely, like the anonymous user ID. Anonymous user ID is the user ID name from which I mean you are seeing now. If you see here, you are seeing the permissions with root. I mean username is also root and group name is also root. If you and in that is not recommended that these permission um, should be configured as root, because suppose you have a local user in that system on your client machine, and here you have root permissions, as root is the owner of these directories, it is visible here. So those users only read write, they will come under other user, right? So they can only read these directories. No, they cannot modify, they cannot touch. So this is recommended. Always use a local user permissions. Suppose I'm creating a user here, like user add we can say egain, and giving password egain. So now egain is local user, right? So let's use these options. Anonymous ID 101 via etc. You can set permission from here. What user ID and group ID you want to visible on your NFS share. So why I'm giving here 1001, that I will tell you, because uh, our user, which user I need to I want to permission that file system, that has user ID as 1001 and group ID is 1001 also, right? So that's why we have mentioned here anonymous user ID and anonymous group ID is 1001. Now let's reshare it again. And you need to remount it because you have already mounted one time. Okay, one those, see here in this file share, what we are getting now 1001. Why it is showing like 1001? Because here in the client machine you don't have any user which has user ID 1001. That's why it is showing as 1001. That is the problem which most probably you got in production systems, like application teams or many users complain that I'm inside my system I'm getting this 1001 or user ID, that can be any number in the production systems, but not the actually username. So what is the cause? So for that, you need to check your NFS source, what user from which what user ID you have shared your NFS share. So suppose in the client I am creating a user add or egain. So now if you see, the permission is changed to egain, but that is the case when user ID 1001 is same on client and source. That is the understanding. But in some cases what happens, client is suppose if client is already that ID is already assigned to some other user. So let's suppose that is assigned to Mohit user. So here instead of showing egain, it would be visible as Mohit. So you need to check just user ID, not the username, because permissions are assigned with user IDs, not with the usernames. Username can be anything, right? So and so why let's mount these directories as well. If let's suppose SAP GTP, so you can mount these directories as well. GTP So now you can see your mount. GTP is also mounted because we are in root directory. That's why it is visible here. Let me do one thing. Now, if you see the GTP application directory is also mounted to GTP. So what we can do, suppose this is for SAP. So this file share, this directory we can mount on SAP systems. This file share we can mount on GTP systems, and like that we can mount according to application wise. We can mount uh, NFS source on multiple NFS clients systems. So that is all which is comes under installation and configurations. Let's move on our slides. So one second. Now comes AWS EFS configuration. What is? So EFS is provided by AWS. EFS is, I mean, that is AWS managed service, and that is auto scale. You don't need to worry about the size, or you don't need to scale it manually on premises server. Suppose you want to extend the file system of your NFS share, so you need to resize that file share first on the NFS source servers. After that, that should be reside on your that would be replicated, or that would be visible on your clients. But in case of AWS, you don't need to worry about EFS size or EFS bandwidth or IO. There are or other parts which you need you need to worry. But in case of AWS, all is managed by AWS. So to set up it for AWS, there is AWS provided service EFS. You can just before creating any file system, always keep in mind that the region should be same for your EFS file system. So in this service, that is AWS provided service, you can just simply create EFS. You can give here any name like um, egain NFS. We can provide that. You need to select your VPC, under which VPC you want to create that file EFS. And I want to show some more options here. Let me create one more. Click on customize. So if you see here in the customize options, you have some extra options which you can customize according to your requirement. In this EFS, you can select it file system type. It is regional or one zone. That is basically two category we have. Regional means you have regionals offers you high availability and durability also. So it's provided better redundancy. Suppose this under this one zone don't provide you redundancy. It is available on. That's why we call. If you see the definition, it's provide continuous availability to data within a single availability zone within an AWS region. But regional, it provide, I think, minimum three AWS provide. There are three availability zone in each region. Maybe it can be vary, but I have seen minimum three regions, three availability zones are available. enable automatic backups. If you allow to you want to automatic backup your EFS, you can enable these options. And there are life cycle management, that is rotate your data according to your life cycle policy, right? If you see in the screen, to transition into infrequent access data, if you want to select that within 30 days, if suppose today I access any files, so according to your your files access times, AWS will move your data to different type of storage. So that is one of storage type, infrequent access. And another one is, and after 90 days, it is move your data to that and transition into a standard. If you want to back, you can select on first access someone, whenever anyone select suppose after 35 days anyone access a file, so after 30 days AWS will move your your data to infrequent access storage. So whenever on the first access anyone get uh, access that file, that file will move back to standard storage, right? Encryption you can enable, and that is throughput, what types of throughput you want to get. And that is elastic and provision. Provision means provision means you need to provide, you need to define some specific a fix throughput, uh, like if you see valid range is 1 to 1024 MBs, so you can provision according to your requirement, according to your environment. And elastic means whatever this will unpredicted, so you can select elastic as. Tags you can provide, suppose this EFS is for my, and we can provide a tag here, SAP. Okay, one is enough. Here, these are the mount target. If you see availability zone, there are 3 availability zone in this Mumbai region, and so you can select all 3, or if you want to, in 3 availability zone, if you want to remove, you want to keep these EFS only 2 availability zone, you can select only 2. You can remove 1, and you can select next. If you see the permission, these are the exporting options which we use on our NFS shore servers. Prevent root access. I mean, root don't could not change any file systems. So you can select according to your requirement, or you can grant the permissions, customized permissions from here. Then next, and you can create. So this is the again 2 EFS which we created. Now we have created the EFS. Now we need to provide the access point through what is the access point we need to provide. So here here if you let's provide AWS default under root directory, that is the access point AWS. You can mention here what user ID you want to set, what group ID, secondary group ID you can provide. And there are lots of detail which you can provide. I mean, on a user ID, on a group ID, tags also you can provide. So one second. So this file system, you can mount this egain to file system or EFS. You need to click on attach. Whenever you click on attach, it will show mount by DNS you want to mount or by IP you want to mount. So if you have your custom DNS, then you should go with your mount with IP, and on DNS you need to create some DNS record according and resolve that DNS. Here we are just using AWS DNS. So I'm using this DNS name because I'm using AWS DNS. That's why I need to select all the whole command it is giving me. So first of all, I need to create any directory like mkdir / AWS NFS. Now I can mount this AWS NFS directory. So it is showing me access denied by server while mounting this. So let me check. Some policies are we have selected extra. Okay. File system enable automatic backups. I think we are already running the time. So that's the way how, let me check 1 second. That's the way how we can create EFS and mount. So we can prevent root access by default, enforce read-only access. Read-only access we can provide. And yes, save. So read size, write size. Now, if you see, it's mounted AWS NFS. So that is AWS EFS name, and that is the mount target which we created here. If you wish to mount the mount access point, you can mount these directories as well, the subdirectory of root. So that's how you can use NFS from on-prem and as well as on AWS. So let's move on slides. Let's have a quick.
Yeah, quick time check.
Yeah.
I think probably we'll wrap up in next 4 minutes.
So these are all the options which have discussed already, right? Like exporting option, read only, read write, sync, root squares, anonyms, user ID, GGID. Mount options we should discuss. Let's when you mount any file system, you can use these arrow for read only, read write, read size and write size. If you see here, we these are the mount option which we use. R, that is for read size, that is for write size, that is for timeout value. That means if suppose NFS or EFS is not available, then how much time it will get timeout, right? No RESV port, that is very important parameter which we should use. No RSV report, and no fail and net dev. These three options you should everywhere, because no fail means whenever suppose your system is getting booted and this file system is not available. So most case in production cases, what happens in the boot time, system got stuck because NFS is not there and it's tried to mount that file system. So if you use no fail options, then your system will not get stuck. Dash net dev is also one another important parameter when uh, it is allow the network file system. Basically, whenever system try to boot, most probably issue you will face when system gets booted. So you have to very careful when to putting these options. Like dash net dev is allow you to mount the NFS share only when your network is available. Suppose your system is booting and your network is not available, but the boot, your EFS is trying to get mount, or your NFS is trying to get mount, then your system will become your system will get stuck or become unresponsive. So that's why dash net dev option you should use, and no fail. No RESP port is also one important port where you should use in production. That is also for no reserve port basically. Uh, so whenever your suppose any latency comes in your production systems, and your client get unmounted for few milliseconds, so that option help in that case. So it will remount whenever your system NFS will reachable, it will remount on another port, on another same port. So that's why we are using no reserve port here. Apart from it, that's live production cases which we have already discussed, like user ID, group ID, this showing different, which we have demonstrated recently. Booting issue we have discussed, and I think NFS share availability, like if your NFS is not accessible on the client side, so many times application teams comes to you like, I'm not able to see this directory, and I'm not able to see this file system. So what you will try, you just first of all you ping your source NFS servers, or you will try to uh, NFS, you go on NFS source servers and you see what is the status of my daemon, is daemon running or not, or you can check by so mount -e command also, that I am able to that something is if any error in the my configuration files. So these are some issues which you got probably in production systems. So that is all which is for today's session we planned.
Yeah, that's a very good session, Mohit, and very informative. Also, I learned a couple of things, like last point you mentioned, if it is not reachable, then what are the comments should I use? Good, good, good. Thank you so much. I think now, Ranjana, would you
Sure.
like to speak for from you? So let
Sure,
me.
sure, definitely. I would like to thanks the whole egain team, specifically Mohit, to provide these insights with respect to the NFS. See, this is how I take it. So, with all due respect to all the participants who have joined here and spend some good time on the weekend, you can actually read more on the NFS, but it's quite rare to see the practical exposure, like how companies exactly implement this particular technology. And definitely, Mohit has helped us to give you a quick, nice kickstart. And I'm pretty sure that everyone can utilize this documentation, the official documentation which he has shared on the chat. And will encourage everyone to basically just go and explore this technology and come back if you have any questions. So right now, I would like to open up a poll. But before I do that, I would like to ask the participants if anyone has any questions for Mohit. Feel free to ask.
Well, it's Pramod here. First of all, I'll thank Mohit for this wonderful presentation. Yeah, this is quite new to me. I learned a lot of things. Thanks, Mohit, for this electrifying presentation. But some of the questions which may sound a bit silly, one basic question is that, Mohit, I found that before this Elastic the server presentation, you told something about this ID. Whenever anything is being referred, we should refer as an ID. But my question is, how can we get that ID? Is it that ID what we are going to give to that particular directory and then we share? Do you remember whenever you were adding on the user, not the user,
Use.
the not the user, sorry, the file. Suppose you created one egain file,
Mhm.
then you refer that ID as 1001, and then you say you have created another one, and
So
then
that is depend on your application. Suppose you are using SAP application, and
Mhm,
for that application, uh, you you have so for any application you have an application user, right?
mhm,
So for
mhm.
that application, you should for that application user ID you should use there,
Yeah,
because
that's fine. Okay, okay. Carry
hmm,
on.
so when you give that user ID, application user ID,
Mhm.
then you can show all the data visible according to your applications,
Okay. Then only I can handle that particular directory, right?
right?
Okay,
So
okay.
that's
So
why
that means
that's why we have segregated those according to application wise.
okay. That means I'm going to get the ID from the application from where I'm using. Okay, fine. This
Yeah,
is fine.
because
And then
application process is gets running with some particular users, some specific users.
okay, got it.
Hmm.
Thanks. Means I got it. Yeah, it's quite obvious that we are going to refer to anything by ID. Okay, that's
Hmm.
fine. And the next and last question from my side as of now is the resolving of the DNS as you mentioned, because DNS we know that international DNS we resolve. But here you say that we are going to use our own internal DNS in which AWS provides us. So I am not sure how it has been done. So is there something where I can read and go through a little bit details about these DNS of this AWS? Because I it was not so
So it is basically AWS. When you create any EC2 instances, or by default you can use AWS DNS. But if in your infrastructure, if you are using your custom DNS, so that's why you should use, first of all, you need to map your IP address with your EFS file system name. So for that you need to create a DNS record on your DNS server. But in AWS case, as I'm using AWS DNS, that's why I don't need to use IP.
oh, actually, my question was regarding this AWS DNS only because I want to read something means read something on this one to get the details one.
Yeah,
Anyway,
Pramod,
yeah.
this is Devaji. So I will share this RDS, sorry, this Route 53. That is something AWS DNS talk about. So
Okay,
if you can drop your email address, then we'll share a reference link to
okay, that
you.
will be fine.
Yeah.
Okay, that will be fine. So thanks to all of you as of now, because I am sure I'm going to get back to you with some questions to Mohit specifically. Will that be
Definitely.
fine?
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you
I
so
Sure,
much,
would be
Mohit.
helpful.
sure,
Thank
Thank you.
sure. Thanks, everyone. With that said, I guess I'm just going to open up a poll. So request everyone to go through this website, please.
The website, uh,
Menti.com. Okay.
Can the just team make me host for a second?
I have already make you
Oh, okay.
Ranjana.
Okay. Thank you. So I request everyone, what are some of the future topics which you wanted to hear from us? Please select those and participate.
Yeah, I already did, Ranjana.
Okay. Okay. Nice. All right. Good to see that. So with this, I guess appreciate everyone's time. And if no one has any further questions, we will be good to drop from there.
Okay, I think no questions, so that we assume no questions. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks,
Thank-
Mohit.
Thanks everyone
Yeah,
for
thanks,
joining.
Ranjana. Thanks to you, Mohit, and thanks to everybody.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Bye.
Yeah.